Hey folks, welcome back to Digital Titans, and as promised, here is the next tool that we would be talking about, and this is called as Mobile Monkey, which is arguably one of the best chatbots available in the world. I don't claim this. This has been claimed by a lot of practitioners themselves, including people like Neil Patel, etc. So it is uh, it is very important to understand that having a chatbot is not just a solution to the current situation with coronavirus being prevalent all across the world, and but this is also something which would where the world is transcending into, and a lot of businesses have already understood the importance of having a chatbot and a communication similar to what happens when businesses use a chatbot. People have shown a good response to these kind of tools, and they don't want to pick up the phone and call you. They don't want you to call them and explain about the service. Emails are again hectic. So a chatbot is something which solves and bypasses all these problems and has proven to be a very, very, very effective solution in terms of increasing your leads, reducing your downtime, nurturing leads better, and whatnot. So we will obviously be delving deep into these things along with understanding how the platform works. And I personally believe this is a very, very, very easy solution for anybody who is worried about chatbots having coding or programming, and they absolutely don't need you to have a programming or a coding degree as a mandate. You don't need to be one of these things, or you don't need to be a programmer to get on to using chatbots. And Mobile Monkey proves that better than any other platform out there. So let's get started. So here is mobilemonkey.com. All you need to do is you need to sign in using your Facebook credentials, because we're talking about a Facebook chatbot and or something that can be used for your website chat widget as well. So even before we look at these things, let's try and understand what's there on the website, because the website itself has a ton of information which really explains why you need a chatbot in the first place, along with a set of valuable statistics that they provide. So let's scroll down, and there is something called as OmniChat that we need to understand. So what is OmniChat by Mobile Monkey? It is a multi-platform chat builder, which means that you build your bot once, and then you could use it on every chat platform. Could be your Facebook page, it could be your website, and any other web property that you would want to integrate this with. Now it is a unified chat box, which means all customer communication will happen via chat on this platform. And instant communication is the very essence of using a chatbot, where people don't have to go through these annoying experiences where they post a query and they would have to wait for somebody on the other side to look at them and then respond. But this is an instant communication because it's a bot doing most of the conversation while keeping it as human as possible. Why do you need that? You need that because you need to get more leads, you need to get more sales, and build better relationships with your customers. Because customers prefer communicating with businesses this way rather than having a call or an email, etc. As I said, Neil Patel's favorite chatbot marketing tool, one of the typical marketing testimonial kind of thing. All right, then here are some of the reviews, and then the best part about OmniChat or using Mobile Monkey is they have their inbuilt chat university, which gives you most of the information that you need. Especially if you're somebody who is starting out and if you want to understand how the platform works, you don't need to go enroll yourself into a training program. They themselves have a chat university where you could understand how to work with Mobile Monkey. So I will try and explain as much as I can, but for any further communication, you can always refer to the chat university. I will show you how to access that in a couple of seconds. So scroll down, and then you will see all these social media personalities explaining about this tool. And what else? You can write bots that work in web chat, SMS, and Facebook, cut customer care costs, have conversations happening across the messaging apps in your inbox. You can do a chat blast. You can upgrade to using your Facebook ads. You can integrate your Facebook ad platforms with Mobile Monkey chatbots. And you can grow your contact list, of course, and then you can integrate that with your WordPress plugin if you use a WordPress website. You can have autoresponders. You can do a ton of things using Mobile Monkey. Then scroll down and let me take you to the Chatbot University. All right, so here is the Chatbot University. You can open this and then you can access all the information for free and understand how this platform works. These are all the help articles that you could refer to in case you're stuck anywhere. Going back. All right. So these are all the testimonials and reviews and whatnot. All right, so that's about it. I think we are good to go, and we also they also have a private community where you could be a part of this community, and it is really, really, really helpful. It is a Facebook group, and they help you with a lot of things in case you're stuck anywhere. There are a lot of active members who seek to help you in case you're stuck somewhere with anything that's difficult. They're always there to help you, so you don't have to worry about that. Besides everything, this is a free to start platform, which means you don't need to invest any money at all to get started. So as I said, let's start logging in using your Facebook. So let's say this is my login. I think I'm already logged in, but in case you're logging in for the first time, it would definitely ask you for logging in your face through your Facebook credentials, and then it will ask you to link a Facebook page that you would want to have the bot associated with. This is all done, so this is where I land. Now this is my Facebook page. If you look at this, it says it's a Facebook page ID. So while signing in to Mobile Monkey using my Facebook credentials, I also linked the Facebook page. That's all I've done so far, so you don't have to worry about anything else. Alright, so Facebook page is linked, and then there is something called as a website chat. You can also create a website widget, chat widget if you want. Let's see what else can you do. Explore other things that the bot can do. You can set up an inbox where all customer conversations happen here, website chat. You can integrate this with a Facebook ads account. You can use something called as marketing automation, lead gen, chatbots, templates, etc. Now, all these options have been classified into these things on the left-hand side panel, so you don't need to get confused about having so many options. At the end of the day, it's all one, but then they have been classified into different things here, so you don't have to worry about that. Now, first things first, you need to understand that if you really want to create a chatbot, you can do that using two ways. One, you can start with a blank chatbot, which means you can start from scratch without having any reference whatsoever, or you can pick something from the templates. Now, when I click on templates, you will see these. You have a templates library. Now, then if you want code-enabled templates where you would want to add your custom code and do anything of that sort, you can go and use this, but this is a pro feature, which means that you have to be a paid subscriber to do this. And these are for teams where your other Facebook pages, on the Facebook pages that you work with, you can add you can share these with your partners or colleagues, and then have a unified approach to this. All right, so let's see view templates library. Now these are all the list of templates that Mobile Monkey has in place in case you would want to have something as a reference to start with without having to worry about things. Now, if you look at these options, let's say, considering the situation that we are in, assume that I want to set up a COVID-19 awareness bot for my business. You can click on this. But since that's not what we are looking at, let's say we are a service that falls under this. So this is a consultant themed chatbot. Important to your current chatbot, or do you want to create a new one? So as I said, if you want to build upon the existing template, you can always choose this. But if you want to start something from the scratch, you would have to do this. Now, since that's not our goal, we're trying to understand something with the ready-made template until we get an understanding of how to work with something from the scratch. Let's start using the one that's template. So I'm importing that. Now, once this template is imported, all you need to understand is you need to make some changes, customize things and personalize it to your business, and then you're ready to go and integrate this with your Facebook properties. Congrats, the template you chose is finished copying to your chatbot. Now just customize it to suit your Facebook page and not use as it is. So let's say take me there. All right, now we would arrive at this screen another time when we are building a chatbot from scratch. So I would be showing this to you again. But before that, understand this is where most of your work will happen. Now, this is a template that's readily built. You need to understand something called as a dialogue, what that means, right? And by default, you will have something called as a welcome dialogue, which is like a welcome message to people who reach your Facebook page or Facebook chat when they would want to interact with you. On the other hand, you will also have to understand something called as widgets. Widgets are simply attributes that you could use, or elements that you could use to customize the conversation or the flow of conversation that you would want to happen. Now, if I open the template, let's understand what these dialogues contain. There is a default. These are all the folders that you will have your dialogues. Now, this is a welcome dialog. Now, a welcome dialog is this. Right now, this dialog is like a container of all these elements that we spoke about, like widgets. Now, the quick question is, thanks for messaging. Can I ask you for the email address? User replies with an email ID. Now, the second thing is, what's the best phone number for us to reach you at? Now, the user replies with a phone number. Thanks again. What can I help you with today? The user replies with a text. Now, it simply says, great, someone will get back to you shortly. Now, this is a very, very simple a flow of conversation that happens. That's a part of welcome dialog. Now let's see what a default dialog contains. Sorry, I'm just a bot, but someone real will be with you right now. Now, if you look at the main menu, now this is the main menu. All right. About. Okay. Hi, so and so. I am Mark and help business utilize Facebook Messenger to increase leads and sales from exponential rate. I'm also the guy behind some of the most successful messenger ad campaigns in the world. It's hard to believe. I was a struggling teacher, but that's crazy. But you can simply use these webinars, dialogues, and customize it as and when you need something. Or simply, you can start building a chatbot from scratch. Now, this was only to help you understand the difference between a dialogue and a widget. A dialogue is simply a container of a set of widgets that is in line with the flow of conversation you would want to have with the users. So this is about the dialogue window or the bot basics window. So let's bring everything down and then let's start from scratch. All right, so let's get started. And the moment you click on chatbots, you're left with two options, which is dialogues and Q&A. So let's go over each of these one by one, and let's start with dialogues. As I mentioned earlier, dialogue can be considered as a container of a set of widgets that you customize your flow with. Now, I have created a folder called Titans folder, and I've also added a dialog called the Titans conversation. Now, this is the welcome message, which says welcome to Titans.tools and hope you're doing good. And you can add another widget that says, let's say, where's the text option? All right, text, and let's say, what can I help you with today? And when I do that, I have options where I can add a button. Now, let's say, as I mentioned, I'm an ad agency, and this is for the agency that I am working with. I would want to know more about PPC. That can be one option. And if you realize, when I mentioned PPC as one of the options that the user can input, I'm given the options of having or linking this with a dialogue or a phone number or the URL of a website, or I can hand it over to manual representative or a customer service executive. Now, you look at dialogue and then you have an option to choose a dialogue that you have, if any. Since I have not created any dialogue that I would want the user to be taken to PPC, now let's say PPC services is one option, and if I choose dialogue, I will have to select a dialogue that represents that. Since I don't have one here yet, I will have to go and create another dialogue, or I can simply send user to a URL. Since URL is very simple to understand, that's not my goal because it's anybody can do that. Now, my goal is to make sure to help you understand how working with the dialogue means. So I select dialogue, and since I don't have a dialogue, let me add a dialogue. Let's cancel this for the moment. Let me add another dialogue. Now let me add PPC services dialogue. Let's say create a dialogue. All right, so I come here to PPC, which I am yet to build a widget upon. Now let me go to the original dialogue. What can I help you with today? I can add a button which says PPC services, and this is a dialogue, and I would want it to be linked to the dialogue which says PPC services. So let me see if it appears here. There you go. So I select this, which means that when people select PPC, they would be transferred to this dialog called PPC services, which is empty at the moment. So let me create that. Let me create another option, just saying, take me back to the site, or let me say your website, and I can select a URL that I can send people to. I can start tools, let's say create, or I can also create another dialog called social media, but I don't have a dialog yet. So let me create a dialog called social media and send people who select this option from the main conversation. If they select social media, they have to be transferred to the dialog, which is social media. There you go. All right, so create. Okay, now you can move them around, you can prioritize them as you want. Now when people select PPC services, they would be transferred to this dialog called PPC services. When people select social media, they would be transferred to this dialog called social media. When people say your website, they would be sent to my website. And if you observe, it also gives you a tracking mechanism about how many people linked to my website using this option. Now, I have told you that these dialogues are empty at the moment. So I would want to, once people select PPC services and come to this dialog, I would have to define the functionality of what happens or what appears in this dialog. So let's say, glad to know that you are interested in PPC services. Let ask you a few questions, right? And you can add another button which says, if you have any dialogues that you would want people to be transferred to, you can use that here. Or simply, you can cancel this and leave the text as is, create another widget, and then you can say, ask a quick question about what's your current PPC budget. Then you can have, now here you can have the user answer multiple questions, or you can simply say, if you would want a text answer, you can simply say text, but I'll leave it here and I'll say my budget is less than, let's say $500 is one option, less than $1,000 is another option that I would want to give. Now let's say 2,000 to 10,000. So this could be another option. Right now, these are the options that I have left the user with. And I can also add something called as none. Right? Now, user replies with one of these choices above. If you want them to answer with multiple, you can always choose multiple. Right? Now, this is it. And then let's say I can also add another widget and I can ask them, or I can ask them a quick question. Let's delete this. Delete. Let's ask them another question about what's your current goal, right? And then I can say achieve more conversions. That could be one option, right? If they want, now let's assume that if they select conversions, I would want them to go to a specific page on my site, right? Let's say create. I can say I want to know more about social media. If that's the option, I can send them to a dialog called social media that I have already created. I can simply create another option called go back, which when they select would have to be taken to the main conversation that I have here. So I can create that. That's it. So now I have customized my PPC dialog. Now I realize that social media is empty, so welcome them with happy to help you with social media services, right? And then you can say add another widget, and you can ask them a quick question. What are your current strong platforms? You can add answers to, let's say, Instagram, or is it Facebook, or is it LinkedIn, right? Now, user can reply with multiple options, and you can also make sure that you can save all these to necessary attributes that you can use for further use. Now, please understand you can use any of these attributes, right, for any of the questions that you have. And if you don't have a current attribute, now I would want to create an attribute called social media channels, and I can save it. So all the responses would be saved to an attribute called social media channels. It's as simple as that. And this is available at all stages when you create any option with a quick question. All right. What are your current strong platforms? Now, just to close the loop, let's ask them a text, and anything else we could help you with. And the only option is yes, where if I want at this stage, if I want this chat to be transferred to a human, I can always say handover. Right until now, it's all the bot doing the work. If they say yes, they should be taken to my website. That's my goal. Let's say create. And if they have nothing else, let's say if they say no, they should be taken back to the main conversation that I was including. Let's say no, that's it. So this is done. All right. Now, there's another interesting thing that I would want for you to understand. So let's go over things from the beginning. Now, if I start with the main conversation, somebody comes to my chatbot, I welcome them, and then I give you an option about what can I help them with. These are the options. When somebody selects PPC services, they would be going back to this dialog where this flow would continue. If they go back, they would come back here. And if they select social media, this dialog would come into play, and then this would happen. And if there's nothing else that they would want help with, they would go back to the main conversation. And here, if they click on your website, they would be taken to my website. Now, this is the simple flow that I have established, and you can simply start working on these things. And if there is anything, let me think if there is anything else that I could demonstrate. All right. Now, let's say you go to this dialog, right? And if somebody has mentioned, these are the options that you have given, right? You can send them to a new dialog from here also. Right from here, if you would want them to be give the option to take them back, you can also do that. If they select this, or if you just want it to be an input, you can leave it as it is. You don't have to worry about that, right? Okay. At any stage, you can also give them multiple path options, which means, let's say, let's go to PPC services here. Now you can add another answer, right? And if this person is not very clear about what he wants, if he says, I need more info, you can take them to a dialog. You can customize that. If he needs more info, then maybe I can send him to my website, or maybe I can send him to social media. I can do anything that I want at this stage. Since he's already at PPC, social media, let's send him to PPC. That is something that I can do. Right, so this is pretty much a very, very simple flow that I have given. And let me see if you would want to create another widget. And then if you have a quick question that you would want to include, it's very, very simple. Let me say, let's say, would you be okay if we reach out to you in future? If that is your question. And let's say you would want to give him an option called yes. right? And then you can take him to a new dialogue if you want, or you can leave it as it is, right? Now this is just to demonstrate, and if you would want to take him to another path, you can also have some conditional logics that can establish. I mean, you can do this for a certain set of tags only, certain set of attributes only, for certain audiences only, but that's a part of the Pro package. So we will not get you confused with that at the moment. So let's delete this because that's not what we are looking at. Now let's go ahead and test the flow. Now here we are. Now let's say copy the link. Right. Let's see. So let's go here, paste the link again, see how the conversation comes into effect. Okay, there you go. Welcome to Titans.tools. Hope you're doing good. What can I help you with today? Now, if you would want help with PPC services, you will click on PPC services. You would be taken back to the dialog which says, glad to know that you're interested in PPC. Let's ask you a few questions. What's your current PPC budget? If you say whatever, it will be inputted, right? But if that's not what you want, what's your current goal? I'm not really sure. If I want to go back, I can go back. When I go back, I would be taken to the main options. If I select social media, I would be thrown the social media dialog in play, and then I can choose whatever I want. If I say I need more info, I should be taken to my website. That's the goal, and it would happen depending upon what the user has chosen. Now let's say none. Right, you will go back to the previous screen, and if you say go back, I will go to the main options that I had, and if they want to go to my website, they can simply click here and go to my website. As simple as that. Now that's a simple flow that you can design using a chatbot with Mobile Monkey, and there is no big fuss about it. It's very simple. Now, just to highlight the other options that we have options which is called as Q&A, if you remember. Now Q&A can be a little advanced compared to dialogue. Now you can set up a new Q&A, and then you can respond to people's questions if they have any, and then you can create a new Q&A, right? But it's a part of the Pro deal. But you can have a set of questions that is set up, and people can reply. And if the user says something similar to these things, what do you want the bot to be doing? So these are some things that you can set up using a Q&A. You can customize your answers, etc. Let's say new Q&A, and then if the user says something called hello, or hi, or hola, or howdy, if these are the things that he is doing, the bot replies with a dialogue which we have created, or it can simply show a default text which says, welcome to Titans.tools. How are you doing today? Right? And this is one that you can do. And if there is, you can always create another answer. If it's a dialogue, if he's talking about something related to PPC, pay-per-click, Google Ads, paid advertising, anything of that sort, you can simply send him to a dialogue called PPC services. Right? Now these are the quick Q&A things that your quick Q&A settings that you can enable, and then you can activate it, or you can just pause it for the time being. You can randomize the questions, which means that they would start appearing in random. But if you want a particular flow, you can set up a Q&A in this particular flow. Right? That's exactly what we're talking about. Now that is Q&A and dialogues, and you have templates as I have shown you. And then you have marketing automation. You can set up your drip campaigns. You can have a chat blaster, which means you can send out a chat blast to all your subscribers. You have a lot of other options in Pro package that you can use. Now you have a Facebook page welcomer. You can associate and link your Facebook click to messenger ads using Mobile Monkey. Comment guards is something which is really important, and I really think that this will add a lot of value. Now, how about this? When a user comments on any of your Facebook posts that you have on your page or that you have left in any other group, how about a bot answering those comments for you? Right? Now, that's really interesting. Now, if I go to Facebook comment guards, and let's say if there are certain posts, you can create a new comment guard, turn off catch all comment guard. Okay, now let's say there are two options in comments that you're talking about. You can catch all, which means that you will start responding to all unguarded posts, or you can only respond to a certain specified posts, which is a pro feature. But assuming that you would want to deal with a catch-all feature, now you can create a dialogue that can engage with people when they comment. Now, if they have any comment on your posts, you can set up a common dialogue saying that, hey, thanks for leaving a comment. Can I message you here later? Right now, you can customize your comments, and then you can. This is a ready available feature, but I can hey, thanks, or I can say, hey, sweet of you to comment. You can simply say, hey, please feel free to chat here, and I would be happy to help, right? Or you can simply send them to your email ID, or you can capture their email ID, or you can capture a phone number that you would want. Right? You can do anything that you please with these things, right? So that is something that you can do, and then you can activate your comment card. Once you've activated this, it will start going on autopilot for all comments that appear on by users, so that your bot will start commenting on them automatically. Marketing automation, as I said, you can set up a drip campaign based upon few replies automatically. You can send out a chat blaster to your user base. You can integrate things with Zapier, whatnot, right? Contacts, audiences, forms. You can set up all these things using your leads. Now, let me see if there's anything else that I would want to help you with. All right. Now, these are pretty simple. Say customer chat. Now, you can let's say I'm talking about a customer chat option, right, on a website. Now, this is a website chat option. Now, it is active at the moment, but if you want to edit it, you can always activate, let's say, chat on website, right? You can save it. These are the general settings, right? You can create a dialogue for your website visitors. Thanks for reaching out. Can you please tell us your email ID? Now, this is very, very interesting if you can pay close attention to. Now, this is something where you can set up using Mobile Monkey for your website. Now, when you're doing that, this gives you a lot of interesting options. Now, this chat window or this chat feature goes onto your website, not on Facebook page. Now, let's say I don't want to ask people directly for their email ID first, so I would want to start with a quick question, right? Hey, what's up? How have you been, right? And if I seek options, let's say I'm good, right? And I can also add another option, not good, need help, right? Now, these are the two options. Now, just understand that when people say good, right, I would want to send them to a new path. Now, let's say I just don't want to listen to them saying they're good and leave it at that. Or let's say if somebody is saying I'm not good, I need help, I want them to be taken somewhere else where I can further help them. Now, do you see how when I selected the new path option, there is another path which starts here, right? When people come onto this path, I would want to ask them a quick question as to what the current issue that you are facing, right? You can either do this, or you can simply delete this and say, you can ask a quick question about, is your question related to related to any tech help, right? If it is yes, right? If it is yes, I would want them to be taken to another place. If it's no, I would want them to be taken to another place. If it's yes, I simply want to send them to a human, where I will simply say, please email at tech@patents.digital, and we will look into it in the next look into it in the next 24 hours. Right? That's gone. And if it's not related to that, I would want to take them to my, let's say, website. Let's say I can say it's no, a new path. So I click on this and let me see if there is a place where I can take them to, or I can just show them a video, or I can just send them to a dialogue, or I can send them to a navigation where just take them to PPC services for everyone. I can do anything of that sort, right? Now, do you see how multiple flows are playing out? And if you want to preview that, let's see how this works. Or right, so this is how you can add multiple flows, and then you can add your whitelist and domain, and then you could copy this code onto your website, and this chat window or this chat widget will start appearing on your site. Now let's see if this can be tested. Let this load, because it takes a little while for it to load sometimes. If I don't see the option, so let me test this bot. Okay. All right. Hey, what's up? How have you been? Now, do you realize that this is different from what we have seen on the Facebook Messenger? Now, this is a chat bot, while this is a chat that will appear for people who come onto my website. Now, if this guy says, I am good, right? There's nothing that will happen. If he says he's not good, he needs help, another question will be posed, which will ask him, is it related to your tech? If he says it is related to tech, he will be taken to a place where he needs to send an email to, right? If it's not that, then he'll be taken to another flow. So that's exactly how this flow will work. So do you understand how you can build like one chat and use it for your website, and then use the chat bot for your Facebook Messenger? Now that is something that you can do, right? You can start looking at your landing pages. You can create a new landing page, and then you can embed your current chat on that. There are a lot of things that you can do with Mobile Monkey, and just a few of these things have been shown to you. And if you have any questions about this, please feel free to reach out, and then I'll be happy to answer your questions. I hope you understand, since this is a very short explainer video, it is difficult for us to look at each and every feature, but I'll be more than happy to take any questions if you have in future, and looking forward to help you. Well, thank you so much. Until then, cheers, and please subscribe to this channel if you have any questions. If you would want to register for or sign up for Mobile Monkey, please use the link that I've given below. I think that will help you. Cheers. Thank you so much. This is Casey signing off. Thanks, guys.